so we're going to go over graphing lines and then even seeing if there's a solution to those two lines. So the first thing we want to talk about is we have two equations here, and each of these equations represents a straight line on here. We just don't know what it looks like. Okay, so what we're going to do is reference an equation we've been taught before that says y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, and our m stands for slope. So let's talk about that. I'm going to move this graph down so we can talk about slope a little. Our slope, m, is equal to, have you ever heard of rise over run?
Yeah.
Yeah. M is equal to the rise over the run, which is a fraction, right? We have a division sign there. And b is known as the y-intercept. And that is where a line, we have a y-intercept, that's where a line crosses the y-axis. That's what it's talking about, okay? So, our very first equation, we need to choose what our m, our slope is, and our b, our y-intercept. Now, do these equations line up perfectly? We definitely have a y, but do I have like m is some number and an x underneath right now?
No.
No. Okay. So I can rearrange this equation.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's rearrange it. So now we'll have y equals, and this negative here has to stay with it. So it becomes negative 2x. And is it positive or negative 12?
Positive.
Positive. So plus 12. So we've now rearranged it so we have an m. What would our m be when we line this up?
Negative 2x.
And we don't actually include the x. We just say the number, okay?
Okay.
So negative 2. And what would our b be?
12.
12. Okay. Now, unfortunately for me, my graph doesn't go up to 12. But that's okay. We can make do. I'll say that's 12. The only problem here is rise over run is a fraction. And is negative 2 a fraction?
No.
No. I can make it a fraction, though. Do you know how to do that?
Putting a 1 underneath it.
Exactly. Exactly what we talked about before. So let's put a 1 underneath it. So now what we have here is we have a rise of negative 2 and a run of positive 1. Yeah, 1 or positive 1. Our y-intercept is where we're going to start. So it says to start at positive 12. Okay, well, we're going to say there's positive 12. Unfortunately, this graph didn't go that high. So we'll do this one in, I guess, red. Okay, so this guy in red, 12. Now, our run says to go down 2. So down 1, that's 11, 10. Here we go. And positive 1. So we go down 2 over 1. And we go down 1, 2 over 1. Down 1, 2 over 1. Down 1, 2 over 1. 2 over 1. And this pattern just continues. 1, 2. Okay? So essentially we have a straight line going through there. Now I know it looks a little confusing, but there's our line. Okay? There's our straight line. So that's what this equation just represented. I don't think I have a red highlighter, do I? I think I do actually. Okay? There was our red line there, what we've just done. Let's do the other equation now. Let's line up y equals m x plus b. Is this one lined up properly?
Yeah.
It is. Okay, so what is our m value here?
3 over 2.
3 over 2. Okay, so I have a rise?
Yes.
What is it?
3 over 2.
Yeah, I have a rise of 3 and a run of
2.
Yeah, and are they positive, negative?
Positive.
Positive. Okay, and what's my y-intercept?
9. Well, negative 9.
Negative 9. Very important, that negative. Okay, so negative 9. We go to our graph. Well, negative 9 on the y-intercept falls here. Okay, and it says we have a rise of 3, so we go up 1, 2, 3, and a run of positive 2. 1, 2. That's our point. So let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So here, and I'll actually make this line purple this time to make it a little easier for us. This is the purple line. Okay. Do they have a point of intersection?
Yeah.
What is it?
6.
It's just 6? There should always be 2 numbers in coordinate?
0, 6.
That's right. The x value comes first. The x value is 0. The y value is 6. Okay? And just as a side note, let me see what time we got. 5, perfect. We should really check this to make sure this is true for these two equations. Okay? So what I'm going to do is zoom in again, and I'm going to use some algebra just to double check. So we've graphed them. We're done the tough part. Our two equations were y equals negative 2x plus 12. That was one of them, right? And the other one was y equals 3 over 2x minus 9. And we said this point, 0 and 6, was the point of intersection.
Yeah.
So we'll test that for the x and the y values. We're going to plug 0 in for both of the x's, right? We'll plug in 0. And we're going to plug in 6 for both of the y's. Okay? So I'm going to quickly do that. This becomes 6 is equal to negative 2 times 0 plus 12. Negative 2 times 0 is 0.
Yeah.
No problem here. So let me double check something. Did I write the right equation in? This is good. We ran into an error. It looks like this is not true all of a sudden. But we know by graphing that we were right. So we've made a mistake. I'm going to jump back up. What's this coordinate again? What's the x value of this coordinate?
6.
What did we write down?
0, 6.
We wrote it backwards.
Yeah.
Okay? Very good that we made a mistake and we found it. So let's reverse that. This is supposed to be a value of 6 and this is supposed to be a value of 0. Okay? 6 and 0. It's okay to make mistakes as long as we can figure it out. So let's reverse those numbers. Right? The y's need to be 0s and the x's need to be 6s. So let's retry this again. Let's plug these values in and solve quickly. 0 equals negative 2 times 6 plus 12. What's negative 2 times 6? Do you know?
12.
Negative 12, actually, because there's a negative times a positive. And negative 12 plus positive 12 is 0. So that checks out. And 0 equals 3 over 2 times 6 minus 9. Okay, so I'm going to help you out here. When I multiply fractions, we do top by top, bottom by the bottom. This is going to become 18 over 2 minus 9. And then we're going to have to divide that. So you use your calculator, and 18 divided by 2 just so happens to be 9. So 9 minus 9. 0 equals 0. 9 minus 9 is 0. So that checked out too, okay? Which is perfect. Our graph worked, and algebraically, when we checked, both left side equaled the right side. So we've done all of our checking with graphing our lines.